Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Marshall Smith from the Kenosha Writers Guild. To date, we've produced 13 YouTube podcasts of local writers reading and being interviewed about their work. Today's show is part 4 of a new 4-part series of readings with a theme. Today's theme is place. We've asked several local writers, published writers, to read. They are Joe Engel, Dave Gourdoux, Bob Katzman, Darleen Coleman, and myself.
Hi, my name is Dave Gourdoux, and I'm going to read a short piece of prose today about a town I grew up in the 1960s and 70s. Someday I'll come back, and they'll be there again. The rolling fields and the small patches of woods, the corn and hayfields, whispering in the midday breeze under a fat sun in a cloudless sky. They'll return, and so will my youth, and I'll run through the tall grass just because I can. My lungs will fill with the warm afternoon air I push through, and I'll run until I collapse in the cool shade of one of those big oaks just south of the railroad tracks. I'll close my eyes, and when I open them, I'll be dizzy from the fresh air in my lungs. The green of the treetops will swirl with the deep blue of the sky into a kaleidoscope that twirls and spins to the rhythm of my throbbing heart. After a while, I'll climb up on the tracks and follow them into town, past the empty backyards, to smell of freshly mown grass in my nostrils as I walk past and onto the grain elevator and feed mill. Then I'll be downtown, standing on the tracks in the middle of Main Street, looking south at the storefronts. Everything will be the way it used to be. Even the bank will be in that big old granite and marble building. The Ben Franklin store, the pharmacy, the bakery, the cafe, the grocery store, they'll all be how they used to be. I'll follow the tracks to the old train depot, and it'll be open again, like it was when I was small. And I'll step in and sit in the waiting area, brightly lit through big windows by the afternoon sun, dust dancing in the streams of light. After a while, in the distance, I'll hear the rhythmic hum of my train coming, getting closer and louder. Then I'll hear the clanging of the crossing bells on Main Street as it pulls up to the station. An unattended door will open, and I'll climb up and board the empty and ancient passenger car. I'll take a seat on one of the wooden benches next to a window. As I sit there, the train will start to move, and I'll wonder where it's going to take me. All I'll know is that it's not going to heaven, because heaven will be out my window, fading and vanishing.
My name is Robert Katzman, and I'm reading a story poem about a specific place and time. It's called Facing the Rain, and it was written in July 2014. Feeling squeezed as a grape in a wine press, and then empty as the husk that remains, all the sweetness drained away in life. I wanted to feel something powerful enough to break through the hollowness. Then I heard a dangerous rainstorm was coming. The radio urged all in its path to take cover, to get off the streets and wait till it passed. So I drove to it. I picked up my old dog, Betsy, who spends her dull days slumped over a pillow on a soft, cozy couch. She's 14 years old, bought as a newborn pup out of a cardboard box at a Mississippi River flea market on a hot 4th of July. She is long past adventure, but maybe she remembers it. I keep her thin and she can still run, but only for a little while. Pretty much describes me, too. Betsy jumps into my van. We drive together into the rain, windows open, her head poking out, feeling the cool wind race past her. Squinty eyes and a whitened muzzle, she turns her head and looks back at me, large black eyes questioning. Where are we going? There is a place, a large green forested place with a lagoon and a hill rising up from the prairie, with a stone and timber hut atop it. Egrets fly there with their wide wings, soaring on the wind. Swallows swoop. Ducks and geese patrol the waters. Wildflowers grow wildly. A person can lose themselves there. As I drive against the flow of traffic, their road locked bumper to bumper, mine free as the open range, I am driving into the rain. There will be no crowd. The radio warning and warning and warning, as if describing the end of the world. impending doom, flash floods, rising rivers, toppling oaks, flooded viaducts. My dog, Betsy, and I, we are driving into the rain. The sky darkens, the drama begins. A raindrop here, a raindrop there, the orchestra warming up. We are where we are going. There, ahead, is the hut on the hill, maybe half a mile away. Can we beat the storm? Can we reach our refuge and watch the lightning? I look at Betsy, her beautiful fur, a soft blended palette of black and tan and white. Our bones are old and we both creak. We leave our car. We begin. Urgently, we both trot, slow down and breathe. Then again, Betsy matching my pace matching her limitations. We seek adventure, but cannot race to it. The droplets increase, gauzy gray clouds advancing from the west, cold air rushing ahead of the storm. I am a veteran of working in all weather. I know what is coming and welcome it. We are circling the big lagoon, trying to seek shelter from the rain. We are not afraid. The hill is steep. Betsy stops, her chest expanding, long pink tongue trailing out of the side of her mouth. Her eyes are alive and she looks at me. She barks, "Keep going." And I do, foot by foot, rain now soaking my shoulders, soaking her fur. There is still time. The stone blocks of the hut resemble a castle. The large square timbers support a strong peaked roof. No walls between. We are there. We breathe deeply, my dog and I, wet, winded, and determined. Tall weeping willows surround the lagoon. The wind blows their slender, budded, hanging branches almost straight to the east, reminding me of a shy, green-faced girl hiding behind her hair, shy yet unafraid, both rooted yet submitting to the relentless wind, seemingly saying, "Wind, do as you will. I am here. I will not move." And I can feel the strength of that willow. Then I see, as wide and far as the horizon, a solid black mass of low advancing clouds. The first few clouds tested our will. We didn't run, and now we will pay. The serious rain is coming. Betsy sees, barks and barks, doing her beagle dance of excitement. We are wet. We are cold. The sky a dark blanket falling upon us. We are alive. Then the big storm hits us, fat, wide drops, falling in unison with a plop. The mindless foot soldiers of the rain, billions of them. The torrent makes a sound, an endless series of murmurs, wave after wave of cascading rain, covering the forest with oceans of water, surrounding our castle on the hill. I watch the willow, the green-faced girl tree, now heaving as if in sorrow, the rain weighing down her branches. She can offer no resistance. The sky cracks. The sound can only equal an exploding tree, splintering the sky. Betsy's ears fly up. She looks wild. Brilliant yellow-white lightning surrounding us, God's bony fingernails scratching the blackness. He has many fingers, everywhere illuminated like neon, heaven's Broadway. We, my dog and I, both of us in suspense. I pray we are in the cup of his hand and not near the sharp tips of his electric nails. I hold my dog and she shivers. We are freezing, drenched, shaking. We too, so different and yet now the same, afraid of what might happen. We craved excitement, sought out danger, ignored the perils to feel alive again, muting the silence within me. The terrible storm will pass, but both of us will remember the night we faced the rain.
I'm Darleen Coleman. Today I'll be reading 3 poems about places that are important to me. The first is called I Know This Place. I know this place, these foothills resting in blue mountain shadow, fine red dust familiar to my feet. My shadow rises up to greet me, binds me to earth. I am home. I know this place. These curs basking in warm midday sun, rising as one to sniff the air, the roasting corn and green chilies. My heart echoes distant drums. I know this place. These adobe shacks embracing sacred ground, eagle spiraling through silver sky, Tethered to the earth below, I fill my lungs. I am home. This poem is called Where I'm From. I'm from the flat above the grocery. 3 flights up, there is a dusty wooden porch from which I survey my concrete kingdom. Wet sheets snap the air on crisscrossed clotheslines. Across the alley, the tops of trees glow from street lamps standing sentry down the block. I come from where dreams take flight like thistle, root deep in city grit, demanding bloom. I'm just an American cheese whiz kid rolling Wonder Bread into balls, savoring smells garnered walking past houses resplendent with grass and purple lilac. I'm from the longest street in Chicago, from shadows beneath the thundering L, with pigeons perched on wires stretched wider than my young eyes can swallow. My last poem is called My Aunt's House. As a child, I was happiest when my mother and I walked to the green and white house on Maplewood Street, leaving our 3rd-floor apartment on raucous Western Avenue with its concrete yard empty save for 5 smelly rusted steel garbage cans. We walked for blocks and blocks and blocks until enveloped in a sweet cloud of fresh-mown grass. I found a secret hiding place, a nest in the middle of converged bushes where, mantled in the perfume of lilac and peonies, I sat cross-legged, thinking about things. My cousin's shouts drew me out to witness a sparrow sprawled on the sidewalk. We scattered across the yard, scouring the ground for worms, while my mother fed him whiskey with an eyedropper, because it worked for Billy, our parakeet. When his weightless body went cold, we wrapped him in layers of tissue and laid him gently in the center of an empty shoebox, tied with ribbon cut from Tommy's balloon. We had a funeral procession then, my mother, my aunt, my cousins, all marching solemnly around and around the bushes before digging a hole with my uncle's shovel. We all looked up to see the freed balloon blending into the sky. In the sun, peonies loosened their tight-fisted balls, shedding soft pink petals I held against my cheek to wipe away the tears. Later, I examined big ants that roamed the flowers, dark and shiny as my Sunday school shoes. Head, thorax, abdomen. Naming the parts made me feel solid. It was good to understand some things. When it grew dark, my cousins and I chased fireflies, transforming jelly jars into magic lanterns. Crickets sang loud nighttime songs as birds slept in nests I couldn't see, but imagined safe and warm as my aunt's house on Maplewood Street.
I'm Marshall Smith. I have 4 poems of mine to read. The first one is called Red Sky. It's from a time long ago with my father when I was a child. Red sky. Through this frost-white pane, I see my father deep in the trees. He has been working since dawn, gathering firewood in the December snow. The day is turned clear and burns blue like a sapphire. Sitting at the hearth, I feel my father's fire dance into my skin. I am for a long moment lost in a summer day. My father and I burn brush behind our house. The sky flows blue between 2 banks of trees. The leafy smoke grows, twists, rolls away. He hands me an axe, taking hold another. This is how you fell a tree. 4 swings, the ground shakes. All day, in the heart of the forest, we dragged the trees, sectioned the trunks, burned the foliage, watched the fire rage. Evening, it stormed. The dark sky looked like a sea, full of ships and battle. The sun broke at dusk from below the horizon, lighting the treetops where birds sang, and night fell slowly from a red sky. This next one is called Cairo Hotel, from a time when I was in Cairo, Egypt, and it's for Dr. Ahmed Abdelsalam, my sponsor. Cairo Hotel. Sitting by the Nile, a listless cloudy day, wind stirring in the leaves, my terrace plants shiver as the call to prayer echoes in the streets below. So little of what we do matters, so little of what we think true is. The imam's voice cries, sings, and broadcasts through our neighborhood. Does he cry out for justice among men? It's a language I don't understand. Carefully, we listen to our world. Carefully, we collect the clues. I am lost in Cairo. I will eat my lunch of almonds and dried figs, sip my green tea, waiting for the sun to go down. There is nothing I need. This third poem is about my father. It's called Sunday Morning, and it owes homage to Wallace Stevens for the title and a couple of allusions in a couple of lines. Sunday morning. My legs have no strength now, my father says. A new moon shadows the blank autumn sky. Leaves are sifting down. The patio is a field of fallen soldiers. My father is laughing like a Zen Buddhist monk who hears the sound of one hand clapping. Opaque white discs shimmer like full moons in his wide eyes. He listens with a sense of distraction. What does he see in reflections of what he cannot see? So much is funny, nothing is funny. Old cornball jokes too easily make sense. Laughter rings silently in the room's four corners. Breakfast is served, late coffee and cider in sunny kitchen chairs. No peignoirs here. The realness is daunting. Moving forward is what we have. We come to this place, each of us alone, knowing the new moon is new, its full heavy weight yet to come. We are almost always there at the beginning of something new. This last poem I wrote in high school after reading Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It's called Siberia, which is the last part of the book, which symbolically is carries the theme of revelations in the Bible. And the two main characters, Raskolnikov and Sonia, are in dialogue. And the first part is Raskolnikov speaking to Sonia. Sonia, pale and thin in this cold moonlight, what have we come to here on this vast sea of barren land? The years do not help. With shovels and axes, we search for sun in the pith of trees. Consider the stars by dark night, wreathing the moon. Few cabins dot the horizon, where a single pillar of smoke climbs the night sky. Sonia, these are the lives we have built. And Sonia speaks back, Radka, still I think these many years later, and even so in the coldest of moon, murder too has its redemption. In the spring of St. John, the healing leaves will cover our faces and shade our eyes, and we will be those wet trees growing on banks, dressed in light, bearing the fruits of forgetfulness.
Hello, my name is Joe Engel, and the poem I'm going to read today is called Falling into Place. Falling into place. The new pavement Public Works has laid is gray concrete. But when I cut my headlights, I could be anywhere. Before the next curve, though the darkness makes it clear. With roads this smooth, it's hard to know you're moving. As my own stillness grows wider, no lane can hold the width of my desire to sit and can currently go. If I could blow my own sails with sighs, I'd be in France. Though a weary cult of carpenter ants coalesced in the grove today, and we're marching in a line away from the tarry stack of railroad ties, holding eggs in their jaws like luggage. The luster on their exoskeletons gone. It may be a fluke, but they had a calling. In words, it would say, it's not the people, it's where they are that's important. I haven't seen a child skip hopscotch all year. Maybe answers are found in the volume of crows or the unexplained mounds of dirt. What is there to run from, really? Don't go native, they say, but what if you're home? This ground has wrapped around me. It knows my toes. We've played. The trees beside my bedroom laugh at the branches of my heart. Why blame what only squirrels hear? Somehow, the town's faithful are flawlessly cast at going through the day. One by one, I have met them at our favorite bubbler, just beyond the birthday balloons at the pharmacy, and wait in a line formed more for cleaning glasses than quenching thirst. If I dropped down exhausted from watching snow land on flowers, someone with feet like mine would offer a familiar hand, aware that train whistle I hear appears to come from a standstill.
We hope you've enjoyed today's show on the theme of place. Links to this and to our other podcasts can be found on our website, KenoshaWritersGuild.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking of Our Words, a production of the Kenosha Writers Guild. Please like our Facebook page and visit our website to see all that we do and how you can participate. Until next time, this is the Kenosha Writers Guild. Thank you.